Hello, welcome yet to another live modeling session with Thangys. I'm so happy to see you here. Thank you so much for following. Today we are having our Jimmy here. We've been through a lot already, from struggling, creating a lot of assets, not that many, only 3 so far. But today we're gonna focus on creating this, yes, the sort of sweater and scarf. So that's gonna be both challenging for you and me as well. I am always creating something new and improvising, so hopefully you will learn as I will. So let's go to our scene. I already created a nice winter scarf collection here, so we're gonna go with Shift A, and today we're gonna make it really interesting because we will be adding the Bezier curve. Yeah, it's just a curve that is happening and will be happening in Blender. So we're gonna start with the most juicy thing right from the start. So this is the curve here, even though you can't really see that, but it's there, GZ. Let's move it down. All right, so the idea here would be sort of now creating a scarf, and what I will show you right from the beginning, so it won't be that abstract, it's just having a line here. We'll be going to this sort of line directive properties here, they call it, and in here we can tap into the geometry. What a nice word. And we can extrude that line. Look at that. Okay, so let's say that this scarf of ours will be this thick. That's so far all we need to have, so it will be more instructable to see, beside just seeing that line. So the idea here is to sort of, when you wear a scarf, usually you have it sort of around your neck. So in here I will be now placing that scarf just sort of, or try to place it around the neck of our Jimmy. So let me see what we can do here. If we toggle the exterior view, in here we can see, okay, so oops, and in here we can see that neck of his. So now having that, okay, first of all I will place it straight to the middle. Let's just, so it's just, yeah, okay, so in here this yellow dot is, yeah, the middle, the center of the universe. And now when you tap into the edema of that curve, you will actually see that you can sort of play with those points here, right? So basically that's how you work with the curve. I like the music, it's so energetic for this morning. Okay, so first of all let's try to GX and just see what happens if we just move it this way. And what if we move this GX, and again we're gonna move it inwards. Okay, so in here you can already see that we are getting some funny fragments, and so that's why it's gonna be challenging. So again, as we can move the sort of ending points of that curve, we can also move those controlling, let's call them control wings. So in here we can again influence as well the way the curve works, so there's a lot of things to move with. So let's say that we're gonna make this shorter, so I'm just gonna X it out like this here, and let's move the point that we wanted originally to start here around the neck. Okay, so this is how it is. Yeah, that was so educational. This is how it is. Okay, so basically you can see that this influences a lot, how the curves is also being shaped. So let's start with, okay, let's go around the neck first, right? So basically in here I think that this one will probably need to be positioned to this size. Okay, so let's just move it down here. It doesn't have to be that long. So now I'm just moving the control wing of that curve, and now you can see that it's just being nicely rounded around it. And again, the funny thing with the curve is that it's kind of works the same as with the mesh object. So now if I go to the top view with number 7, I can extrude this point. Okay, so again you can see that as I extruded it, okay, I will demonstrate that again. Select that point, E, and suddenly we got another part of that curve. So I'm just gonna Y it out like that. And so just imagine how it works. So now this scarf, it needs to go here, and then it needs to go under around neck and down. Okay, so this is the so I just again extrude this. Let's extrude this scarf again, but I will make those shorter. So G, Z, Y, and I think we're gonna do it in the top view. That's the easiest way to do it, so we don't move it in the different angles. So let's just make this shorter. You can see that now that this curve around at this point here just kind of broke, so that's why we need to fix it again. Or maybe we don't have to necessarily, but that's what we want. And let's just extrude this and get it out. Okay, so that's what we're gonna work with. So that's the bottom part of the scarf, and now let's try to play with this. Okay, so again we want it to go around the neck, so we will be moving now this controlling point of that one, and let's just, wow, look at that. Let's again go to the side view. Oh, this is the front view officially, and let's just extrude in the x-axis like this. And yeah, again control this one, but we have to do it in the top view. Okay, so let's just roughly model, okay, the Y, GY, and like that. What we want now is to just go around the neck. Okay, so control 3. With control 3 you get to the opposite side of that side that you want it to go. So this is the opposite of this side, the minus X. Look at that, control E, and now we're gonna extrude it again in the Y axis. And again control this out like this. And let's move it. This was control 1, G, X, and now let's just, okay, so I can see that we are having and getting that scarf going around the neck already, kind of, right? Don't we? Okay, control 1, just extrude that point again, and look at what we got. Okay, so this would be basically that. I'm gonna move it GX just to the back a little bit. Just let's control this so it's kind of going more straight inwards, and I mean in the front, and control 1, and let's extrude it again, okay, in the x-axis. So now we got something like this. Okay, so now you definitely G, Y it out, X, and now you can see that there's a lot of kind of a challenging part where we need to bend this scarf, right? Because obviously it can't really go like this. Okay, so yeah, just show you how it looks. Yeah, you can see that this is definitely not what we aim for, obviously. So let's start the bending part. So let's go, and okay, so basically this probably can stay, but the only part that needs to be bending definitely is where this curve, you know, goes, or this scarf goes underneath the other. So I have no idea how to actually do this, so this is gonna be a total improvisation. Okay, so I got back to the backup of that scarf. I knew it will happen eventually. So perhaps let's make the extrusion less thick, and let's play with the curve itself. Maybe that will work. Okay, so I got this one, G, I'm gonna just play with the curve. Okay, so okay, this is so difficult. I would say just still have only a few minutes left, so okay. This is what we're gonna do, right? We're just gonna play with that scarf exactly as we would play with some, yeah. Why I didn't thought of this approach before? Okay, so basically the idea here is to really just move those leading points or controlling points of that curve in a way that we want, sort of. So I'm just G and moving everything. Okay, so this one we're gonna delete, or we don't have to, but it's just got too out of control, so it's gonna be G like that. Maybe okay, so this would maybe be the easier approach, just to make that scarf really going around the neck, like for real. Okay, why I didn't thought of this before? Okay, so now you can see that we are basically just playing with the curve, which is maybe easier than the approach that I had before. So we can see that if we play only with, okay, wow, really, what we GX. Okay, you can see that we kind of influence the whole curve with this, which is also interesting. Even though we are not really moving it. Okay, in here we are kind of moving it in that way. So you can see that somehow eventually it's gonna work out. Okay, so I guess that this part here is way too... Oops, it was different. Okay, I guess that we done. Okay, let's make the extrusion a little bit thicker. Okay, so this would be a reasonable scarf, I think, for our character. Which is kind of already looking cool. We can tap G. Let's try to move it down just slightly. Okay, I like this. I mean, this works as well, doesn't it? Yeah, I guess it does. It's cool. So let me see what happens if we place this more sort of close to the other part of that scarf. Oh, I, by the way, kind of like it already. Look at that. Right, like, it's kind of cool. Maybe this part here is maybe too... Yeah, but I like it. It's really nice looking. And obviously, let's try to add another modifier that is called solidify. So this way we have it with a volume, and let's make this scarf kind of thick, so it's winter time anyway. And what happens if we add this subdivision surface? Oh my god, oh my god, look at that. Okay, if we switch to it, okay, increase more of, okay, so sorry for the initial trouble. I think that this is something that is kind of, I like it as a scarf, or it's cool. It took us around way too long to get here, but anyways, okay. So with this, I thought that we would also proceed with something more special, but let's go and copy the body. And let's move it down to the winter scarf. Let's make this a sort of a sweater. Today we actually gonna be doing something like, we're gonna apply all those modifiers, right? I'm gonna tap to the animal S and scale everything up. So now this is the official sweater that is on sort of the outside of that body part, and we'll definitely keep it like this already. But I thought that we would also be trying to do something like mesh, and let's add a cylinder. Okay, so today this is very new. And we shall tap and just scale it down like that. We're gonna go to the side view and position kind of in the middle of the neck. Let's go to the front view and the side view as well. Okay, and let's see what happens. What I wanted to try today was actually using the Boolean operation here. So the idea here was to do a difference of with this object. Now we're gonna select the cylinder and turn it off. Okay, you can see now that we have a really nice kind of color there, and we're gonna shade it smooth, and we're gonna add a subdivision surface. Oops. Okay, so I guess it's okay if it just that smooth thingy. So now if we turn that off, also from the render viewport, you can see that now we have a perfect sort of neck. We can move this forward just slightly, and we're just curious how this works. So you can see that it created this, but obviously, yeah, the neck here or the fragments that we would get here, it's not really that sexy, right? But my idea was to create a color here, so let's do that. So now we have the perfect hole, and let's add a circle. You know, before that, I think I moved my cursor, so I'm just gonna go and Shift S and move the cursor to the word origin. Okay, now we can Shift add the circle, G it down, tap to the edit mode. We're gonna scale it down like this with S, object mode, and place it around the place where that hole is. And okay, in here we gonna go with, okay, let's in the object, let's E and then scale it. So I just pressed E, left click, and then press S for scale. Let's select everything like that with A, and select and just make it so it touches, yeah, basically like that, right? And now the idea would be to bend this around the neck. Again, I guess that we definitely don't need to do this on the other side, so I'm just gonna go to the X-ray view and delete the other half, X, and select the vertices. And now let's try to bend this down. I think that one of the ways to do this would be using the proportional editing, so I'm gonna try to do so. So I'm just gonna select a few of those random points here in the front, turn on the proportional editing, and let's move it down with the influence, with the way higher influence, G. Okay, this is G, A, Z, and let's try to move it down. Let's also try to rotate it, and let's G it down again, rotate it. This was a bit too much. Let's try to rotate only this. Okay, see the idea? Okay, this idea, that was why we did that. So I guess that so G reduced the Z. And now we're just gonna be moving it like that. Oh, there was too much. Okay, so now I guess that we... The funny thing here that is that Okay, I guess that's this. Okay, let me see how it looks in normal viewport. Okay, so I guess that now we would have to play with. Okay, let's turn off the proportion editing, and I guess that let us try the y-axis. Let's see if it also moves on the other side. So that's perfect. That it reflects the editing here, as it's symmetrical. So okay, so we have just a few seconds on our clock. So I'm gonna go and select those G and move them down, as well as this one, just to fix that a little bit. It also moves on the other side, so that's perfect. So let me just fix it in the perfect. Okay. So that's kind of nice. That's what a nice color. Okay, so I select everything. Sorry, I get to go to the object mode and then shade it smooth. We're gonna go and add the mirror modifier. Now we see that it's also on the back, and we're gonna add the bevel, the solidify again. You can see that it got suddenly kind of nice and thick. So this is the color of our sweater, okay? And let's try to add the bevel as well. And I guess it's gonna be kinda, let me see what happens if we add the subdivision surface. Okay, that's even more smooth. That's so cool. Yeah, so this is the order you add all the different modifiers, okay? And let's add the thickness as well of the solidify, like that. And voila, we have our sweater. Obviously we would be also fixing the back a little bit, but this is also fine, isn't it? So let's G and let's just move it up a little bit like that. Okay, so let me fix the back a little bit. I don't know how this happened here. Oh, we don't have to, it's fine. Okay, so we have our beautiful scarf and the beautiful sweater on top of it. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching for today. I think it was a little difficult at the beginning, but we got through. So that would be the scarf story and the sweater today. I guess that we have a lot to improve there, so I will probably try to play with the curve also in the future with other assets for our Jimmy. Thank you so much for watching today and following. I hope you have a great day, and Thang is